It's my pleasure to be here with you this morning to brief you on the current state of implementation of programs and projects being pursued by my ministry. Present, as I've already expressed earlier, are various heads of the agencies under my ministry. Mr. Chairman, my presentation will comprise a brief introduction of the policies and programs initiated by the ministry, the respective strategies and current status of implementation, prevailing challenges within the natural resources sector, and the way forward. These programs and projects are enshrined within the Ghana Shared Growth and Development Agenda 2 and other special presidential initiatives. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to start my presentation by initially touching on the mining sector. Ladies and gentlemen, mining's long-time process, its links to infrastructure and service development, its employment generation potential, as well as the importance of its products, make it a unique industry that can make significant contribution to the country's sustainable development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, society's expectations of the sector's performance are high and continue to increase. This manifests itself in pressures for high standards of social and environmental performance, greater transparency and participation in decision-making by stakeholders that have historically played only a marginal role. Meanwhile, the industry is experiencing low commodity prices within the milieu of rising costs of production. Clearly, the industry's operating environment is rapidly changing, and the challenge for all stakeholders is to stay on top of this evolution. This requires all stakeholders, government, civil society, communities and companies alike, to play their respective roles to ensure we all collectively realize the benefits that mining brings along its value chain. Ladies and gentlemen, one important issue to note is that mining is a wasting industry, meaning that one day all the minerals will be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's within the context of all this that government launched the Minerals and Mining Policy of Ghana, which has as a guiding principle, quote, sustainable development through mining, quote, closed. The policy aims to involve all stakeholders in decision-making in Ghana's mining subsector. It also seeks to promote diversification to lesser-known minerals and promotes linkages between the mining sector and other sectors of the economy. Furthermore, Ghana has also taken cognizance of the key continental mining framework, which is called the Africa Mining Vision, which seeks to foster transparent, equitable and optimal exploitation of mineral resources to underpin broad-based sustainable growth and socio-economic development. In other words, the idea is to leverage mining into other sectors of the economy. My ministry has submitted its input into the development of Ghana's 40-year development plan and will continue to engage the NDPC, National Development Planning Commission, to ensure strategic positioning of the mining subsector in the long-term development of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to highlight some key achievements as well as strategies being implemented under the Ghana Shared Growth and Development Agenda to address challenges of the mining sector. The Minerals and Mining Policy was launched in February of this year, and it provides a general strategic framework for the minerals and mining sector, and also serves as a key input in developing Ghana's mining vision based on the African Mining Vision, which I mentioned a bit earlier. The ministry will ensure implementation of the policy through the Minerals Commission with active collaboration from all stakeholders, hopefully. The overall objective of the policy is to secure the continued development of a thriving mining industry. Other key objectives in the policy are as follows. 1. Diversifying the country's mineral production base to promote a more sustainable support base for the economy. 2, promoting linkages backward, forward, and side stream to minerals produced locally to the maximum extent possible. 3, optimizing tax revenue generation and ensure transparent and equitable distribution of mineral wealth. 4, assisting in the development of skilled human resource and developing local industrial capacity to the mineral industry. 5thly, ensuring high levels of environmental stewardship in the exploitation of these minerals. And then 6thly, positioning mining as a catalyst for wider investment in the economy. As I mentioned earlier, the whole idea of mining is that we have to leverage it. Because you get a mineral, you must make use of the revenue that comes from the mineral. Because the mineral itself, we're not going to consume it. Now, contribution of the mining subsector to Ghana's economy. In 2015, ladies and gentlemen, the mining subsector contributed 14.4% of government revenue as collected by the Domestic Tax Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. In terms of total merchandise exports, the sector contributed 34% in 2015. And it's worthy to note that since 1991, the mining subsector has been the single largest contributor to total merchandise exports, with gold accounting for 95% of the mineral portfolio. In 2015, Ghana produced over 3.6 million ounces of gold, which resulted in export revenues of over 3.3 billion United States dollars. Gold production in 2015 showed a 19% reduction, largely on account of the declining gold price, which led to the suspension in operation of some mines in the country. Also in 2015, mining companies repatriated 72%, approximately 2 billion United States dollars of foreign exchange into the Ghanaian economy. And that's quite significant. I'm happy to note that a new gold mine, in spite of all these laws, was built within 18 months, established within 18 months, and has been commissioned by me in June this year, 7th of June to be precise, and it's already started exporting gold. And this, I think, is a vote in the resilience of the Ghanaian economy. Because this is the time of low gold prices, this is the time when gold mines are downsizing, but Asanko Gold came into Ghana at this point in time, and they established the mine successfully within a record time of 18 months, and they're already exporting gold. And this is expected to boost the country's economic growth by creating jobs for the local people, local economy, and generating revenue for government by way of taxes and royalties. Now, another plus for us is that a new fully fledged computerized cadastral system in line with Act 703, that's the Minerals and Mining Act, and LI 2176, and that's one of the sub legislation under the Minerals and Mining Act, provide for this. And what has been done is that for the first time in the history of Ghana, a fully fledged computerized mining cadastre is being developed under a bilateral agreement with the Australian government. When completed, the system will ensure effectiveness, accountability, and compliance in the management of mineral rights to boost investment. And we hope that from 2017, investors can apply for mineral rights online. They don't need to go all the way to the Minerals Commission. Another very important issue to note with regard to mining is that this year, the Minerals Development Fund Bill was passed into law. And this is very significant because it will address developmental issues in mining communities. The objective of the fund is to provide financial resources for direct benefit of mining communities, landowners, traditional and local government authorities, as well as institutions responsible for the development of mining. And the key provision of this new act is the establishment of the Mining Community Development Scheme, which is expected to facilitate the socio-economic development of mine-fringed communities. To address challenges in the small-scale mining sector, Parliament recently passed an amendment to the Parent Act, as the Minerals and Mining Act, and this amended act is the Minerals and Mining Act 2015 Act 900. And this provides for stiffer punishment for illegal mining, for example, confiscation of mining equipment used in illegal mining, as well as any minerals mined. We need to streamline small-scale mining operations in Ghana, and therefore we are looking at recategorizing small-scale mining operations to include a category exclusively for artisanal mining. These operators will be grouped into cooperatives and supported with suitable equipment. This arrangement is expected to create significant employment in mining communities. But employment in this respect, meaning employment in mining, which is sustainable mining, mining using the best practices, and mining under control, and mining which we are aware of and which we control totally. Government also intends to implement a system to track heavy-duty equipment. Again, I spoke about the excavators, the earth-moving equipment. So if we can track them, that's another manner in which we can be able to know what's going on with them. The price of gold, ladies and gentlemen, witnessed a significant fall from 2013 until recently, when it began to rise again from the stagnant threshold of $1,200 per ounce to currently a figure of around $1,320 an ounce. The falling gold price is a major cause for concern, especially for Ghana, because gold is our flagship mineral, accounting for some 95% of total mineral export. Ladies and gentlemen, in connection with the need to make sure that we have monitoring systems in the mining sector, under the law Act 2006 Act 703, we, during the year, effectively manage small-scale mining. We established 24 municipal and district mining committees in line with the Act, and we purchased printers and computers to ensure that they could do their work. And what are they to do? To assist Minerals Commission district offices to manage small-scale activities at the local level. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't only have to use laws, but sometimes we need to use other means as well to control those who want to move into the area of illegal activities in mining. And therefore, alternative livelihood projects in mining communities have been established. So far, a total of 35,000 acres of oil palm plantation have been established in the western and central regions. The Prisia Hwini Valley project has developed a total of 23,000 acres, while the Ayamfuri Dunkwa area, which is ongoing, has so far done 12,000 acres. And so far, over 30,000 people have been employed, which is quite significant. All this in order to provide alternatives for those who otherwise will move into illegal mining. Ladies and gentlemen, those who mine need to give to their communities, and therefore we believe that they ought to provide social responsibility projects in the communities in which they work. And the ministry is facilitating implementation of corporate social responsibility CSR guidelines, which were developed through consultations with the stakeholders, and they're expected to reduce social conflicts and to also ensure that companies contribute to structural development in communities in which they operate. We've reviewed the 2015 reports submitted by mining companies in order to find out whether they are sticking closely, as they should, to the guidelines and also their own projected CSR set of activities that they plan to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I said earlier, and again let me come back to that mining finally will come to an end. But the output from mining should have been enough, and during the time of mining, we should have linked it to the economy such that everybody benefits. And therefore, we've tried very hard to ensure that local content is increased. And currently, from a year before of 9 local content items, we moved up to 19 local content products by 2015, which mining companies have to procure locally. And we have done monitoring, and we believe that up to 78% compliance is a figure, which is not bad. We would like to have 100% compliance, but 78% is not bad. We'll accept that for now, but we are pushing for higher compliance. Well, actually, it's up to 80%, more or less, 78 to 80%. And this amounted to $148.2 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we also need to add value, and therefore we have the Precious Minerals Marketing, whose chief executive is sitting right in front of me. And over the years, it's provided an avenue for small-scale miners to sell their produce, gold and diamonds, which they receive. And currently, PMMC has entered into a partnership with a jewelry workshop with a state-of-the-art machinery. The project, when completed, will increase revenue from jewelry and also generate employment. PMMC is also trying to, in the process of expanding its diamond cutting and polishing plant for the sale of polished diamonds in Ghana and West Africa. Now, mining starts with finding out where the minerals are. So we need the geological survey. Geological survey is therefore a very important arm of mining. And geological survey has had a very limited scope when it comes to what it's supposed to do by way of the law. So it's been found necessary to improve the scope of its activities. And during the year, I'm happy to announce that the Ghana Geological Survey was, through an act of parliament, now transformed into the Ghana Geological Survey Authority. And the act has been passed by parliament. I think we are waiting presidential assent. So for now, we are still the Ghana Geological Survey, but soon we expect to have presidential assent. And as an authority, they will have a bigger scope to engage in more activities and more revenue, and enter into more partnerships and relationships with others to attract funding, attract better qualified staff, because at the moment they are suffering from a bit of staff, or can I say skilled staff, and we need to have more. So with more income, more revenue, we expect to have better and attract better skilled staff and to do a better job. Now, in the areas of disaster management, mitigation and prevention, the geological survey would also be very useful, and they are useful now because they are able to tell us when there's going to be an earthquake. And with the new transformation into the authority, they will probably be able to attract more money and do more in terms of being able to have better equipment for tracking possible and potential earthquakes. In the area of landfills and waste disposal and so on and so forth, they also play a role in data acquisition, which can be fed to relevant government agencies and so on. So they are a very critical aspect of not only mining, but other aspects of the economy. And in this respect, ladies and gentlemen, recently we are happy to announce that Ghana Geological Survey, with the facilitation by the ministry, signed an MOU with a company called DIHA Investment. And the idea is that the company would provide the equipment and will provide the facilities for more geological investigations into areas where the beryllium rocks underlie the Voltairean Basin. And this is all geological, can I say, nomenclature, names and expressions, which I'm sure my people here will explain to you if you need to know. And the whole idea is that there are many more minerals out there in Ghana, yet to be explored, yet to be found. So we need to do more exploration. Basically, that's what it's all about. To provide quality, reliable, and efficient land service delivery, the Ministry continues to implement a wide range of policy interventions, including the improvement of business and land service delivery processes. And this is being done through what we call the CSAUs, which is the Client Access Units. And preparation and implementation of National Geospatial Policy, automation of land administration services, all through the Ghana Land Information System, GELIS, and also to strengthen customary land administration. Mr. Chairman, the Ministry, through the Land Administration Project, Lab 2, and the Lands Commission is vigorously pursuing an agenda to improve the delivery of land registration and other land-related services to the public. Now, one of the key strategies is the CSAUs, which I just mentioned. And this serves as a, should I say, front desk office. It provides a platform for a one-stop shop service for those who need services from the Lands Commission. Whether you want to carry out a search, register documents, make an inquiry, the system has been put in place. So you go to the CSAU, you are asked to provide information about yourself. You do that. The idea is that you don't need to go back and forth. Once you provide the information as required, and it's been designed, questions and answers designed to ensure that when you leave and go away, whatever is required from you in order to deliver whatever you're looking for has been put in place, so then you can leave. Now, thereafter, the Lands Commission officials in the background then work on your application, whatever it is. And when everything is ready, they will let you know, then you come back for it. And this is all planned in order to ensure that the turnaround time being, meaning that the time you go and apply and finally get whatever you need from the Lands Commission is decreased. And also the need for you to go back and forth is decreased. And the need for you to go up and down, seeing people to see to you personally, will be taken away and made a thing of the past. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 5 of these units have been established. They are pilots. And they are currently operating in Bolgatanga, Tamale, Sekondi, Koforidua, and Accra. Ladies and gentlemen, storage and retrieval of records is one of the major bottlenecks in the operations of the Lands Commission. Efforts made in the past to improve the situation has not yielded the right results. Records of both spatial and attributes are mostly in the manual environment. These records are also scattered across the various divisions of the Commission, and I'm happy to announce that the Ministry, through the Land Administration Project 2, is developing a Ghana Enterprise Land Information System, GELIS for short, which will consolidate and improve further the gains so far made. And it is hoped that the GELIS will eventually transform the records of the Commission from manual to the digital environment totally, and provide a common central records for the entire Commission. And also, it's expected that GELIS will improve delivery through the introduction of online service such as searches, applications, and payments before submission to the CSAUs, which I mentioned earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, the large scale of applications for land title have remained outstanding since inception of the land registration system in the country in 1988, and some of these are incomplete due to lack of necessary supporting documents. Others will have to be reviewed, and inspection of the land subject properties undertaken to obtain further and better particulars. To achieve this, Ministry has instituted a strategy with the sole objective of clearing all these outstanding applications. And a total of 62,633 out of 79,472 files lodged at the Land Registration Division between 1988 and 2010 have been retrieved and processed. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that over the years, the Ministry initiated activities to improve and sustain geospatial information service by producing up-to-date digital maps of sections of the country through aerial photography. I'm happy to report that in this regard, orthophoto maps, perhaps before you enter, ladies and gentlemen, you may have had a look at the exhibits. Did you do that? You'd have seen some of the orthophoto maps. Who saw them? Well, on your way out, you can still have a look. Yeah. Now, we've done orthophoto maps covering the northern sector up to 13,000 square kilometers and the southern sector up to 12,000 square kilometers in digital format. And they will serve as inputs to develop special activities in the country, especially with regard to registration, development of guide maps, improvement of tourism, street naming and address. If you go and look out there, you see streets, it shows you buildings, etc. So property rating and all that will be affected positively. An additional 4,000 square kilometers was also covered with LiDAR data. LiDAR is the type of equipment that captures data. And this is currently being used by Ghana Commercial Agricultural Project, GCAP, to facilitate the design of irrigation systems for selected pilot areas. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Lands Commission provides valuation services, capital rental compensation to all MDAs. It also supports MMDAs in their property rating activities by providing them with land valuation lists. The Commission has developed a strategy to systematically provide all MMDAs with comprehensive valuation lists with a uniform single date of valuation. The Commission is also collaborating with the private sector to undertake the revaluation of properties adopting modern ICT and geographic information system-based mass appraisal techniques for improved efficiency and effectiveness. In collaboration with the Ghana Land Administration Project Lab 2, a new computer-based building categorization and risk software capable of supporting the GIS-based mass appraisal technique is also being developed. 50 MMDAs have been earmarked for the production of new comprehensive valuation lists in 2017 through the revaluation of properties and or updating and conversion of existing valuation lists to the current database system. Mr. Chairman, limited office accommodation for staff and records keeping continues to be a major constraint to output at the Lands Commission. As a long-term remedy, the Ministry is currently constructing an ultra-modern office complex which will ultimately provide offices for Greater Accra, the Greater Accra Lands Commission, and currently construction has gone past the second floor stage, and we expect work on the first phase to be completed in June 2017. At this point, I want to mention also that the Ministry, or better still the Lands Commission, is in the process of acquiring a new head office for the entire country, and a contract has been signed and work is expected to soon start. Mr. Chairman, the Ministry is working with the land sector agencies to decentralize further the administrative services to the doorstep of the general public. And Mr. Chairman, two new offices have been established in Bibiani and Takwa in the Western region in this respect, and we hope that offices will be established in Ghana East and Ghana West, both in the Greater Accra soon, and this is expected will ease pressure at the regional offices and saves clients the cost of having to commute from far and near. I'm pleased to inform you that as at September this year, 30 new customary land secretariats have been established by the Office of Administration of Stool Lands, bringing to a total 83 altogether of the number of CLSs, that's the customary land secretariats, so far established and strengthened under the Land Administration Project. These are in various parts of the country, and I think you can read them on the screen. They will come up on the screen. There are too many to mention now. Ladies and gentlemen, we've embarked on new CLSs for their proven contribution to national development, and in particular, Bawe here in Accra. And this is the Greater Accra region, among others, Asebu, Binch, and Jinchira, and others which you see on the screen. etc., etc., are some that need mentioning. And they made a positive contribution to development in the areas where they've been established. And they have so far resolved 943 land disputes by ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution. And these are disputes which otherwise would have gone into the court system and clogged up the court system. So they've been useful in so many ways. And land management committees have been formed to oversee the parcels of land to ensure that they are available to prospective investors. To qualify for selection, the land-owning community must show some amount of commitment, and this is when a community wishes to have a customary land secretariat established. They must show commitment, they must show interest, and then they enter into an MOU and so on and so forth with the authorities, and then the establishment finally take place. And as a result of all this, we begin to see a number of investments which otherwise would not have taken place now come in certain areas of the country. And I think this is a very positive thing indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, the other thing I need to mention here is that the lab has been undertaking the rural parcel right demarcation exercise in Ashanti, Brong-Ahafo, and Western regions for 5,118 farmers, and I'm pleased to inform you that so far field work with respect to 3,673 out of 5,118 parcels have been demarcated by 2 contractors. And this is quite significant. At the end of the rural parcel right demarcation exercise, it's quite a sizable number of farmers in the Western, Brong-Ahafo and Ashanti regions will benefit from the exercise. All this will be on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not moving fast enough, I think. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the implementation of the rural parcel right demarcation for our farmers have far-reaching implications for the local economy. As a result of the rural parcel right demarcation exercise, landholders are now aware of the actual sizes of their lands and this could serve many other purposes. Landholders are now able to regularize their interest in the land, and this has the potential to enable them access loans from money lenders for the expansion of their farming activities. The demarcation will also enable tenant farmers pay appropriate ground rent to the Office of the Administration of Stool Lands, part of which is allocated to the local authority in the area where the land is situated for developmental projects. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll now move to Outlook for 2017. To improve land delivery services in the country, the exchange of information between stakeholders in the land sector will be a key priority for government. Therefore, the ministry will ensure the completion of the development of the Ghana Enterprise Land Information System. This will provide a holistic information system platform that allows all users of all relevant ministries and agencies to carry out their day-to-day business processes efficiently and effectively in a digital manner. This will eventually present a complete, self-updating, efficient, transparent, and accessible one-stop shop for all stakeholders, including the general public, irrespective of where they are, what language or alphabet system they use also would not be necessary. There's no distinction between where they are, what language they use. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll allow me, I'll move to the forestry subsector quickly. I'm done with the land subsector. In the forestry subsector, the ministry continues to pursue programs, projects, and strategies that seek to sustain the integrity, resilience, and productivity of Ghana's forests and wildlife environments and endowments. The ministry is implementing the following programs and projects under the Ghana Shared Growth Development Agenda 2 within the forestry subsector. Forestry protection, restoration of degraded forests, wildlife conservation and protected area management, biodiversity management and ecotourism development, climate variability and change. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to highlight some of the achievements of the forestry subsector during the period under review. I'll start with the forest reserves boundary maintenance. The Forestry Commission annually secures the 2,366 kilometer and 5,398 kilometer boundaries of forest reserves and globally significant biodiversity conservation areas, GSBAs, respectively, in the country. By the half year of the period under review, a total distance of 12,664 kilometer boundaries of forest reserves and the GSBAs had been maintained through clearing, patrolling, and inspections. This activity is being undertaken with the active participation of labor from forest fringe communities, and this is very important because it means that local communities, gain, jobs are created along the way. Natural forest and plantation timber production. Mr. Chairman, during the period under review, the Ministry sustained its commitment to supply timber to the wood industry for both domestic and export markets. An estimated 481,722 cubic meters of wood from the natural forest and 46,079 cubic meters of plantation timber were harvested for processing. These are approximate figures. Commercial plantation development. Mr. Chairman, the Ministry engaged the private sector under private-public partnership arrangements as well as forest fringe communities to plant 5,028 hectares of degraded forest reserves. As a priority strategy, the Forestry Commission is maintaining a plantation area of 21,665 hectares established between 2010 and 2013. This activity is being carried out using labor from the local communities. Development of forest reserve management plans. Mr. Chairman, the Ministry has supported the Forestry Commission to implement a number of sustainable forest management strategies. Key among these are the development of forest reserve management plans. So far, 30 forest reserves or 30 forest reserve management plans have been completed and implemented. Timber trade and industry development. Mr. Chairman, the Ministry continues to facilitate the export of timber and tertiary wood products mainly to Europe, Asia, and African markets. For the first half of 2016 alone, 185,971 cubic meters of timber was exported at the value of 104.5 million euros against an annual target of 225,000 cubic meters and an expected value of 80 million euro. On the export of tertiary wood products, 2.8 million euro was realized at June against an annual target of 3.5 million euro. Domestic market wood and public wood procurement policy. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, due to the dwindling timber stock in both on and off reserves, forest reserve areas across the country, the Ministry has developed the domestic market policy to ensure adequate supply of legal timber. Similarly, on the public wood procurement policy, which is a component of the domestic wood policy, a guideline has been developed to guide implementation. And now I'll move to Ghana Forestry Development Master Plan 2016-2036. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, one major achievement of the Ministry is the development of the Ghana Forestry Development Master Plan. This plan is expected to ensure sustainable development of forest and wildlife resources to create a balance between forest products and marketing to satisfy domestic and international demands whilst ensuring good governance and transparency, forest enterprise development, biodiversity conservation and ecotourism development. The plan is also expected to support the 2012 Forest and Wildlife Policy, wood tracking system, and flex license. Chairman, the Ministry is progressing steadily in developing the wood tracking system. Response units within the Forestry Commission was established to augment operations of the military and police task force. Now, during the year under review, the Rapid Response Team destroyed 104 illegal farms and galamsey huts in forest reserves. It also destroyed 155 chamfan machines used for mining and seized 14 gold detector machines used for illegal mining in the forest reserves. To fully explore the ecotourism potential of the nation's forest reserve and increase the revenue base of our forest resources, government continues to improve the ecotourism facilities in the following areas: Mole National Park, Shire Hills Resource Reserve, Kakum National Park, Ankasa Conservation Area, and Achimota Forest Reserve. In furtherance of this, an agreement has been signed with a private investor for the establishment of a new eco park called Accra Eco Park. The salt cutting ceremony for construction of the 1.2 billion Accra Eco Park to signal the beginning of the project came off on 19th of August this year. Now, this project involves the construction of a theme park, amusement parks, orchards, arboretum, wildlife safari, museum, eco-commercial enclave, eco-lodges, and a spiritual enclave. I'm sure you all pass by Achimota. You see the people going there to pray. We feel that we should have a spiritual enclave and sustain and maintain it there. The Eco Park project targets about 2% of all visitors to the West African sub-region and is expected to attract more than 600,000 visitors annually. It will also create more than 4,000 jobs during the construction phase and about 2,500 direct jobs during the implementation phase under the agreement with the investor. The government will receive about 20% of revenue generated. The Shire Hills Resource Reserve continues to receive private sector investment to upgrade its ecotourism potential. And in this respect, Goldfields Ghana, through the Leadership for Conservation in Africa, and in partnership with the Commission, on the 19th of February 2016, handed over the 3 fully furnished luxury tented camp facility to the Commission. In addition, a number of wildlife species such as warthogs were introduced into the inner fenced area around the tented camp facilities. I invite you all to go and be tourists and have a look and enjoy yourselves. It's not too far. In the Kakum National Park, 2 companies that design or sign agreements with the Forestry Commission continue to upgrade their facilities. And this will raise the park status and attract more visitors, is expected. Blackstar, these are Blackstar Eco City Limited. It has initiated the fabrication works for 20 prefab executive lodges. And the Land Tours and Travel Company is developing 24-bed tented camp accommodation for visitors. Again, we invite you all to go and enjoy yourselves there. Mr. Chairman, in the Mole National Park, Eco Lodge Company Ghana has constructed 25 luxury tented camps. On ecotourism visitations to Ghana's protected areas and zoological gardens, this year has seen an early encouraging domestic and foreign visitors numbers to these sites. By the end of the first quarter of the year, on the review, 54,539 visitors were recorded, yielding a gate proceed of $442,824.96 cedis. Climate change and variability in Ghana's forest investment. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry continued with activities under the $40 million facility of the Climate Investment Fund. This fund was approved for implementation of Ghana's Forest Investment Program and is aimed at eliminating causes of deforestation and forest degradation and to overcome obstacles that have prevented this so far. The projects under the program are helping to reduce forest loss and land degradation, and to contribute to sustainable livelihoods through participatory planning, improved practices, and incentives in selected landscape corridors in Ghana's high forest zone. The program has also taken initiatives to rapidly assess resources in sacred groves in the country. To this end, key traditional authorities were consulted to seek their consent, and a number of groves covering an area of 1,500 hectares have been identified in the western region, and so on. I'm sure all this will come up on the screen. And in the Bronx-Ahafo region, 11 sacred groves, and so on. Key challenges. The forestry sector is confronted with a number of challenges. Key among them are the following: inadequate funds to undertake routine operational activities such as maintenance of existing plantations, continuous dwindling of both natural and plantation timber, inadequate and old vehicles for effective monitoring operations, inadequate field equipment, and other logistics. Ladies and gentlemen, the outlook for 2017. Now, to promote ecotourism development in the country, more intensive marketing and favorable investment opportunities need to be made and made available for private sector involvement. The Eco Park, Accra Eco Park, Mole National Park, Shire Hills Resource Reserve, and Kakum National Park will be the focus in 2017. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the ministry has made significant progress in achieving its objectives and targets that were set in the implementation of its programs and projects within the Ghana Shared Growth and Development Agenda and that of government. And we will continue to ensure effective and efficient land and natural resources management for accelerated development of Ghana. Thank you.